Welcome back. Um, Today we'll be doing uh, unit 2 of brand management, and the topic is Keller's CBB model. Now, CBBE is basically customer based brand equity model, and this particular model was devised by professor of marketing called Kevin Lane Keller, and hence the name. Now, Keller's brand equity model is also, as I earlier told, it is also called CBBE model, and it basically stresses upon customer. Now, if the customers are happy, the brand is sure to be clicked in the market, and this particular theory actually believes that if there is a great connection between the brand and the consumer, it results into positive brand equity, and it has a better chance of acquiring as well as sustaining the customers, and it also gives a huge advantage to the companies and products which are considered as brands. Now if you see the particular model, it is in the form of a pyramid, and it has six blocks in the form of a pyramid and has six blocks. Now there are certain levels in the particular theory. We begin with the very first level, that is called brand identity. यानी कि ब्रांड को आइडेंटिफाई करना, to know who you are. Now, brand identity is the way the customers look upon to a brand and how they distinguish it from one another. It also defines brand in the eyes of the customer, and this involves basically in letting people know what are you, who you are. A similar concept applies to building a brand identity. Now it is the very first step of Keller's equity model, and also one of the most important step of brand equity pyramid. It says that if the base is strong, if people identify your brand and your base is strong, the pyramid last longer. Now when we come upon to the second level deals with brand meaning. Okay, what are you? The question arises here is, what are you? Now once the customer is aware of the brand, he wants to know more about the brand, and he would also like the brand to be reliable, to give good customer service, and this particular level is subdivided into two more levels. That means brand meaning is subdivided into two more levels. The first sub level is called brand performance. That means how the brand is performing in the market. Now the brand performance has five related factors. The first factor is product features. ब्रांड का फीचर्स, प्रोडक्ट का फीचर्स कैसा है. देन द सेकेंड फैक्टर इज प्रोडक्ट रिलायबिलिटी, whether it is reliable or not. The third feature is customer service, and the fourth feature is style and design, and the last feature is of course the pricing of the product or the service that has been given to the particular customer. Now the second sublevel deals with brand imagery. Now, brand imagery is basically the brand image of the product in the market. What is the image of the brand in the eyes of the customer? How does the customer perceives the brand is basically brand imagery. Now we come to the third level of the pyramid. The third level of the pyramid is brand response. That means what are the feelings for the brand? How people respond, what feeling they develop regarding the brand. Is it in particular positive or negative? Now if it is positive and if it matches the expectations of the people, they call it a brand which can be which can generate a feeling of loyalty in in the minds of the customers. If the experience is not good and people do not feel good about the brand, of course the feeling will be negative, and the requirement will be to build the brand uh, in terms of its features, in terms of its reliability, its product, its price, its usability, and all that. Now, so on this feeling, the third level is also subdivided into two parts. The first part is judgmental, that is judgment, and the second part is feeling. Now, judgment can be uh, positive or negative. Similarly, feelings can be positive or negative. If you have judged something positive, feeling will be positive. If you have just judged something negative, feeling will be negative. So this is the level where we again have two sub levels called judgments and feeling. This was the third level. Now we come to the fourth level, that is the brand resonance. Now, brand resonance is basically when you have a strong relationship with the customer. Now, a brand advocate is one who has reached the final level of the brand equity pyramid model. Now, there are very few brands which reaches this particular level. This is the zenith of the pyramid, the top level of the pyramid. So, very few brands reaches this level, and this is a level where you have a huge social and psychological connect with the brand, a connect of the brand with the customer. For example, Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson has a great connectivity with the customers. Now, there are various factors which leads to brand resonance. They are behavior, value and attitude, engagement of customers, and the last is connection and feelings. Now, any brand which try to achieve all these four factors in terms of behavior, how the product behaves, what are the values and attitude of the product, what is the number of people or customers who are buying that product, and what connection it has with the and feelings the customer hold regarding the particular product. So anyone who reaches the any brand which reaches the fourth level is supposed to be having brand resonance. Now, uh, the second this was all about the Keller's CBB model, where you have a pyramid model divided into four levels, and brand level 2 and level 3 are again divided into two more sub levels. Now, we have the second topic, that is called the sources of brand equity. That is, and we have to deal with two particular emphases, that is on brand awareness and brand image. Now, there are various sources of brand equity. It can be loyalty, awareness, preference, familiarity, image and personality, association, availability. We have to study, if you will see your syllabus, we have to study in particular two, brand awareness and brand image, but we will deal all those sources of equity, brand equity, right? So we begin with the very first source, that is called the brand awareness. This represents how familiar the customer is with the brand and how well they recognize the particular brand. Now, brand awareness often leads to buzz in the market. It is buzzworthy. Worthy. It it makes the brand popular. It makes the brand trending. So this is a very important stage where you come to know about the product, where you have at least the awareness of the product. You got to know the product rather. Now, brand awareness it establishes a trust, it builds brand equity, and it creates association with the brand. So brand awareness includes uh, a connection with the particular specific product, and people get to know what the brand is by getting aware of it. The second source of brand equity is brand loyalty. Now, brand loyalty is a pattern of consumer behavior through which consumers tend to get committed to a specific brand or product, and they make repeat purchases over time. So when you are committed to a particular brand, and when you make repeat purchases over time, this is called brand loyalty. Now, brand loyalty, of course, means that the product has or the brand has higher sales volume, it has premium pricing ability, and it retains and seeks the customers. These are some important aspects of brand loyalty. The next source of brand equity is brand preference. यानी कि प्रेफरेंस आप किसी पर्टिकुलर चीज को प्रेफर कर रहे हैं. You are choosing a specific company's product or service when you have the other alternative equally priced available in the market. So, it is, of course, when you prefer a particular brand, that shows that you are loyal to that particular brand. So, brand preference, in a way, is a reflection of customer loyalty, and it is a measure of brand loyalty, in which a consumer will choose a particular product in the presence of the competing brands. Now we have the next source, that is brand familiarity. Now, brand familiarity is basically an undimensional construct, and brand familiarity is the most rudimentary form of consumer knowledge. It leads to the commitment of the brand, and it also develops a relationship between the brand and the customer, because now you are in a way becoming familiar to the brand. Familiar to the brand can happen only when you get closer to a brand by experiencing that brand. Now we have brand image. Now, brand image is the perception. This is the next source of equity. Brand equity. Brand image is basically the perception of the brand in the minds of the customer. It is the aggregate of beliefs, ideas, impressions that a customer has about a particular brand. Now, to be more clear, it can be defined as a unique bundle of associations with the minds of within the minds of the target customers. So, brand image is basically a set of beliefs about a specific brand. आप कैसा believe करते हैं, आप how you see a particular brand, how you perceive a particular brand is called the brand image. Now, if you have a positive brand image, that will enhance the goodwill and the brand value of an organization. If you have a negative brand image, that will surely be a mental feedback, be a very, it will give a very low feedback to the positive feedback to the particular product. Now, next sources of brand equity is brand personality. Now, brand personality is basically a set of human characteristics that are attributed to a brand name. Uh, it is basically something to which a consumer can relate. An effective brand increases its brand equity. जितना brand effective होगा उतना वो brand equity को बढ़ाएगा. Now, brand personality is the way a brand speaks about and behaves. कैसे वो speak करता है अपने बारे में और कैसे behave करता है. यानी कि हम कहीं ना कहीं we are assigning a human personality characteristic to a particular brand. Why? So as to achieve the differentiation. You are trying to link the brand with the particular personality. This is brand personality, to be very to be more clear. Or you can say when a brand image or brand identity is expressed in terms of human traits, we call it brand personality. Now, I'll give you one example of brand personality, that is, say, Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Boost, or you say Alan Shawley with, say, with Alan Shawley. You can relate Alan Shawley. It's a product which manufactures shirts and all and dresses and all for men. You can relate Alan Shawley about as a brand which speaks the personality and makes the individual who wear those products stand apart in the crowd. So these are the things where you can relate the human characteristic with a particular brand. Now, the next sources of brand equity is brand association. Now, brand association is anything which which is deep seated, which is deeply seated in the customer's mind, in the mind of the customer, as about the brand, and it is basically a positive feeling. Only when you have a positive feeling you can associate yourself with a particular product. So brand associations are the attributes of a brand which come into consumers mind when the brand is talked about. Brand associations help the buyers to recall your brand on account of its unique properties, and it also differentiates the competitors. It also differentiates you with the competitors and provides a reason for the customers to purchase that particular product. It of course helps to create a positive and impactful feelings towards your brand or the product. So brand association is basically how much you associate yourself with a particular product. The next source is brand availability. Now, brand availability is again a term which has two impacts. It can be mentally available and it can be physically available. Mental availability is that when you think of using a soap, suppose you want to buy a soap today, and Dove comes into your mind. That is mental availability. Physical ability is whether that particular product is available in the market, it is accessible to you or not. Right. Now there are we have to also study measuring sources of brand equity. How will you measure these sources of brand equity? Now there are certain techniques which needs we have to study this in a very brief way. We haven't to go in details. So measuring source of brand equity. The very first technique is qualitative research techniques, where you use all those techniques like we have discussed earlier in consumer behavior also. Free association, projective technique. Now, free association is what? When you are left free and a certain cue is given to you and you have to relate any particular brand with that cue. So for example, I have given an example in my PDF notes also. Tell me what comes to your mind when you think of Rolex watch. So the very first thing that clicks about the Rolex is uniqueness, luxurious, and all that. So something about Omega watches, and then the very first thing clicks is James Bond. So in the same way, you are left free, and you try to associate things, try to associate the brand with the cue that has been given to you. Then we have projective techniques through which we can measure sources of brand equity. Projective techniques again has so many parts: word association test, sentence completion test, construction techniques, expression techniques. Word association test क्या होता है? आपको कोई वर्ड दे दिया जाता है और आपको इट्स ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर लाइक फ्री एसोसिएशन, आपको उससे कुछ लिंक करना होता है. राइट. लाइक कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स, तो आपके दिमाग में पहले पहले क्या आया? पेप्सी या कोक, समथिंग लाइक दैट. सेंटेंस कंप्लीशन टेस्ट क्या हो गया, आपको फिल इन द ब्लैंक्स टाइप कर दिया, आई लाइक मैगी बिकॉज डॉट डॉट डॉट, एंड यू हैव टू फिल दैट। कंस्ट्रक्शन टेक्निक्स, जहाँ आपको किसी कार्टून को देख के या कुछ इस तरह का कोई फिगर देख के आपको कुछ आपको किसी प्रोडक्ट से उसको रिलेट करना है। Expression techniques where you express yourselves. Like they say Maggie, you make a very smiley face. They say some sort of say bitter god. So you give a very sort of expression which is not negative, which is not positive. So these are the various projective techniques. Again, we have ethnographic and observational approaches, which through which we can also study sources of brand equity. Ethnographic means when you study what do you call the when you study the behavior of the customers with them, यानी कि आप you can go with a customer to a particular shop and you can study his behavior regarding his market or his purchase behavior. आप उसके साथ रह के उसका purchase behavior को study करते हैं, that is called ethnographic. या उसके observe करके आप study करते हैं, that is called ethnographic. Then the second technique is quantitative research technique. This is again a technique which includes awareness. A brand में brand को कितना, whether you are aware with the brand or not. जैसे कि हमने सबसे पहले क्या किया, एक आपको दिखाया टिक मार के, टिक दिखाया, तो आई विल आस्क यू this particular logo is of which brand, so you will say Nike. That means you are aware of Nike, right? Second is recognition, whether you recognize that particular brand or not. So they can give you a color sort, like cold drinks में आपको वो एक red bottle दिखा देंगे, तो you come to know, oh, it's Coke. देन वी हैव रिकॉल. रिकॉल में क्या होता है, आपको कुछ वो कुछ यूज़ करते हैं, आपको कोई पंच लाइन दे देंगे ब्रांड का, या आपको बहुत सारा सर्कमस्टांसेस वो लोग क्रिएट करते हैं एंड दे मेक यू रिकॉल कि वो कौन सा ब्रांड था. Then you when you give the answer, if it's true, it is a positive response. If you don't give the right answer, it's a negative response. Then we have image. जब आपको कोई पर्टिकुलर इमेज देखकर आपको उसको पहचानना है कि किस ब्रांड को, कौन से ब्रांड को ये रिलेट करता है. सो दीज आर द वेरियस क्वांटिटेटिव टेक्निक्स. सो गाइज हियर वी हैव completed the unit 2 of your fourth semester brand management, and very soon I'll be giving uploading your PDF too regarding this particular unit, so you can go through it. And I have uploaded the question bank on Marwari College site as well as in our WhatsApp group, so kindly go through them and start making the notes. And if you have any, again, if you got any problem, or if you are facing any, you're having any query or any problem solved, please come back to me, because you people are not asking me questions. So it is concluded that you have understood the whole unit. So if you don't have any problem, it's fine. If you have a problem, you can connect with me on WhatsApp, or even my personal account, right? So here we complete our unit 2, and it's a bye from me. Stay safe, take care, be at home. Bye.